For a long time, the United States has been known for its unwavering support for Israel. However, recent developments suggest that the US has begun to take a more personal approach to its involvement in the conflict. This is evident in the sanctions imposed on Russia and Iran as a response to their support for Palestine and opposition to the US. Experts have raised concerns over the potential backlash that the US may face on a global scale as a result of these actions. Countries that have been silent on the issue in the past may react strongly, leading to significant repercussions that could extend beyond the US's control. The question now is whether the US can effectively manage and withstand such reactions from countries that have remained silent for so long. In this video, we will discuss why the United States has turned the Israel-Hamas conflict into a personal war and also touch upon China's involvement. Make sure to watch the entire video to find out if the US might face an attack from nations supporting Palestine. Let's begin. The Middle East, a region known for its complex geopolitical situation, is now facing economic uncertainties. Instead of the usual military crises, a new battleground is emerging. The focus is now on the economy. Recent events, particularly the relationship between the United States and Iran, have raised concerns about stability in the region. Just when things seemed to be calming down between the US and Iran, the United States took a surprising and controversial step by targeting Iran's oil revenues. This move has significant implications for the Middle East's development. Many consider it a risky decision that could have a major impact on the already fragile economic situation in the region. The key to this economic maneuver is the use of sanctions against Iran. Throughout history, economic sanctions have been a popular tool used in international diplomacy to influence the behavior of nations seen as threats. The actions taken by the United States against Iran's oil industry have far-reaching consequences beyond the economic realm. These actions have geopolitical implications for the region, particularly for Iran, which is often seen as a regional power. The pressure being exerted on Iran could potentially push it into a corner, and how it responds to this economic aggression could set the tone for the future of the Middle East. Despite early promises of re-evaluating US foreign policy, President Joe Biden finds himself navigating the complex waters of Middle Eastern geopolitics. His administration's decision to target Iran's oil industry is a risky move that comes with a lot of uncertainties. The outcome of this decision could have significant implications for the region and the world at large. The main approach in this economic strategy is to tighten sanctions on Iran's oil exports. The objective is clear. By limiting the revenue that supports Iran's economy, the United States aims to compel the Iranian government to change its behavior. However, there is a heated debate regarding the effectiveness of this strategy. Iran, like many other countries in the region, heavily relies on oil exports for its economy. Disrupting this crucial source of revenue has a ripple effect, impacting not only the government's finances, but also the livelihoods of millions of Iranians. This raises an important question. Is the Biden administration willing to risk the stability of an entire region to achieve its geopolitical goals? Before we proceed, we would like to know if you are enjoying the video. If so, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Now, let's continue. The potential consequences of this strategy are multifaceted. On one hand, it could effectively exert pressure on Iran, leading it to reconsider its regional policies. On the other hand, it could backfire, pushing Iran into a corner where desperation fosters unpredictability. History teaches us that nations backed into a corner often resort to unconventional methods, and in the Middle East, this could have far-reaching implications. Moreover, the effectiveness of economic sanctions as a tool of coercion is not guaranteed. While sanctions have been employed in various geopolitical situations, their success is often uncertain. In the case of Iran, a country that has endured years of sanctions, there is a level of resilience that should not be underestimated. The Iranian government, accustomed to navigating through economic resistance and constraints, may find alternative ways to sustain itself, further complicating the intended impact of the US strategy. The consequences of the US's economic offensive against Iran extend beyond the borders of these two nations. The Middle East, already grappling with multiple challenges, now faces increased instability. One of the main concerns revolves around the possibility of a domino effect within the region. Given the interdependence of Middle Eastern economies, any shock to one system can have repercussions across borders. As Iran grapples with the economic consequences of reduced oil revenues, neighboring countries may also experience the aftermath. This is particularly true for nations that have economic ties with Iran, relying on its oil or engaging in trade partnerships. The delicate power balance in the region could be disrupted as well. Iran, a significant player in Middle Eastern geopolitics, may respond to economic aggression by asserting itself in other spheres, potentially leading to increased tensions with regional rivals and further destabilizing an already volatile region. Furthermore, the economic difficulties caused by the US strategy could have social and humanitarian implications. Economic uncertainty often breeds discontent among the populace, and within the context of the Middle East, this discontent can manifest in various ways. From mass protests to radicalization, the potential for social unrest looms large, adding another layer of complexity to an already intricate situation. However, other nations also have a role to play. Russia and China, with their strategic interests in the region, are likely to respond calculatedly to the US's actions. For Russia, a historical ally of Iran, the US strategy presents both challenges and opportunities. While Russia may be concerned about the destabilizing effects in the region, it could also seek to strengthen its ties with Iran, potentially reshaping alliances in the Middle East. China, with its expanding global influence, is unlikely to remain a passive observer. The Middle East holds great significance in China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, and any disruptions in the region could impact its strategic investments. As the US tightens its grip on Iran, China may reassess its own economic and geopolitical calculations, adjusting its stance to safeguard its interests in the region. As the economic war between the United States and Iran unfolds, the Middle East finds itself at a critical juncture. The decisions made in the coming months will shape the destiny of the region and have far-reaching consequences on the global geopolitical landscape. The United States faces a complex challenge as it navigates its economic strategy in the Middle East. While the goal is to address Iran's influence and behavior, there is a need to carefully consider the potential ramifications that may arise. Achieving the delicate balance between strategic objectives and unintended consequences requires a nuanced understanding of the region's intricacies. Unilateral actions must be tempered with a broader perspective that recognizes the multifaceted nature of the Middle East. Iran, on its part, faces a formidable path forward. The government must weigh its response judiciously, taking into account the welfare of its people and the overall stability of the region. It requires a strategic vision that prioritizes long-term interests over impulsive reactions that could exacerbate tensions. The international community also plays a vital role in this complex scenario. Diplomacy, often overshadowed by other strategies, needs to be at the forefront. A collaborative and multilateral approach that addresses the underlying causes of conflict in the Middle East is crucial for sustainable solutions. This situation serves as a reminder that finding common ground requires dialogue, compromise, and a collective commitment to building a stable future for the region. However, it is anticipated that immediate challenges will arise due to the actions taken by the United States. These actions have targeted the backbone of the Middle East. While the impact may extend beyond the region, the Middle East is sure to respond, as it has done so already. Iran heavily relies on oil revenues, with oil contributing over 20% of its GDP and a significant 40% to the government budget. The potential economic consequences of these measures are substantial, considering Iran's extensive oil reserves. Furthermore, the effects of these sanctions go beyond mere economic figures. They have a direct impact on the daily lives of ordinary Iranians, as the country's essential services and government initiatives heavily rely on oil revenues. In summary, the United States faces the challenge of balancing its strategic objectives with the potential consequences of its economic strategy. It requires a nuanced approach that considers the complexity of the Middle East. Iran, the international community, and the well-being of the people in the region are all crucial factors that the Middle East is a complex region fraught with political tensions. However, amongst the chaos, there is a subtle yet significant subplot unfolding in Jordan, a key US ally. Jordan is making a noteworthy economic stand against Israel, which goes beyond just financial transactions. This development reflects a deeper struggle within the Arab world, with Jordan taking a bold stance against the economic and political dominance of Israel in the region. The economic stand taken by Jordan includes measures such as reducing or ending trade agreements and decreasing imports from Israel. This has the potential to impact not only the economies of both countries, but also the wider region. Jordan's actions have been praised by some Arab nations who see it as a step towards reducing Israel's influence in the region. However, the move has also been criticized by some who argue that it could further destabilize the already fragile political situation in the Middle East. Despite the potential risks, Jordan's economic stand against Israel is a significant development that could have far-reaching consequences for the region's future. It is worth monitoring how this situation evolves and what impact it will have on the political and economic landscape of the Middle East. Jordan's refusal to engage in economic cooperation with Israel transcends the far-reaching implications. At its core, this decision manifests the delicate balance that nations in the region must strike. It is caught between the web of political alliances, economic imperatives, and the pressing need to address ongoing conflicts, so Jordan finds itself at a crossroads. The refusal to sign an energy and water exchange deal with Israel is, in essence, a diplomatic statement echoing the sentiments of those who grapple with the challenge of maintaining cooperation while standing up for what they believe is right. The decision not to engage in economic collaboration with Israel carries symbolic weight. It is a signal to the wider Arab world, a gesture that resonates with the struggles and aspirations of nations navigating the intricate landscape of the Middle East. In taking this stand, Jordan is asserting its sovereignty and solidarity with the broader Arab sentiment. Practically, this move impacts the economic ties between Jordan and Israel. The proposed energy and water exchange deal, which would have facilitated mutual benefit, is now in balance. While economic cooperation could foster stability and development in the region, the symbolic significance of this refusal takes precedence. The Middle East is no stranger to complexities, and Jordan is entangled in a web of complexities that define the region. The decision by the G7 to impose sanctions on Russian diamonds is a surprising development that could have significant consequences for both Russia and the global diamond industry. Unlike traditional international sanctions that focus on currencies or commodities like oil, the G7, which comprises major economic powers, has chosen to target diamonds to exert economic pressure on Russia in response to geopolitical tensions. The G7's decision to impose sanctions on Russian diamonds is aimed at disrupting Russia's diamond industry, which is one of the world's largest producers. Diamonds are of significant economic value, and their trade plays a crucial role in the global economy. The consequences of these sanctions extend beyond Russia, and the global diamond market could experience significant shifts as a result, potentially benefiting other players in the industry, including China. This move has the potential to reshape the dynamics of the diamond trade and alter the balance of power within the global market. Diamonds, a significant part of Russia's economy, are now in the crosshairs of international diplomacy. This shift in strategy reflects the evolving nature of global economic dynamics and the willingness of major players to explore unconventional means to achieve their objectives. While the G7's consideration of sanctions on Russian diamonds is intended to exert pressure on Russia, there are potential unintended consequences that could reshape the global economic landscape. One such consequence is the inadvertent strengthening of China's rising economic powerhouse has been strategically expanding its influence in various sectors, and diamonds are no exception. If the G-7 proceeds with sanctions on Russian diamonds, it could create a void in the global market, and China is poised to fill this gap. The Chinese diamond industry, already on an upward course, could see a significant boost, gaining a larger market share previously held by Russia. The ongoing conflict with Hamas has put the United States in a position where it may seek to assert its influence and demonstrate its commitment to international security. By being perceived as actively involved in addressing global challenges, the US can alleviate some pressure to address domestic issues or engage in contentious international debates. This becomes a strategic move to showcase proactive leadership and maintain control over the narrative. Regarding the conflict, there are differing opinions on whether putting sanctions on nations for Israel is the right thing to do. Some argue that it is a necessary step to pressure those nations into taking action to end the conflict, while others believe that it is an ineffective approach that only serves to harm innocent civilians. As for why the US sees this as its war and Israel's war, there are a few factors at play. Firstly, the US has historically been a strong ally of Israel and has a vested interest in ensuring its security. Additionally, the conflict has broader implications for regional stability and global security, which the US sees as a priority. However, it is important to note that the US is not the only actor involved in the conflict, and there are many other nations and organizations working towards a resolution. Ultimately, the goal is to end the violence and find a lasting solution that addresses the underlying issues and grievances of all parties involved. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Do you believe China made the right decision by supporting Russia and Iran? If you loved this video, like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.